Dr. Williams, why are you in such a hurry this morning?
I have a heart transplant today.
Doctor, his heart is beating.
se despierta, se siente lenta. Esta cuarentena ya la aumenta. Se va pa' la sala, desayuna galleta. No come carne pero sí chuleta. Se despierta, se siente lenta. Esta cuarentena ya la aumenta. Se va pa' la sala, desayuna galleta. No come carne pero sí chuleta. No come carne pero sí chuleta. Ahora solo jugo, no hay alcohol. Y el catálogo de Hulu se lo dio. Viendo tutoriales aprendió a codificar. Y una aplicación ya va a lanzar. Ella se despierta, se siente fresca. De esta cuarentena ella se alegra. Se va para la sala, desayuna galleta. Ahora de Google es la jefa. Ella se despierta, se siente fresca. De esta cuarentena ella se alegra. Se va para la sala, desayuna galleta. Ahora de Google es la jefa. 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 No come carne pero sí chuleta.
Hey, what's up, everybody? How you doing? Welcome to nickstream. Test. How you doing? Welcome to Friday night nickstream. We're doing a little bit of a show for all of you today. I'm very grateful for those that are here. Hopefully you can hear me. Having trouble here with the computer. You may have noticed maybe some things are different. My computer, basically I had to reset the whole thing, so it's not really set up correctly for all the fun little nickstream stuff we do on Fridays. So it's just us. It's just us today. I was trying to get the plane in the air, but nothing's set up. No takeoff, Jordan DeNicker. Can you hear me? Am I too loud? Everything's been reset, and so everything's messed up. But I have a camera, I have a mic, I have a computer, I have all of you, and I got a show for you today. So enough of that. Welcome to nickstream. Welcome to Friday nickstream. I got a good show ahead. Yes, it's still in-flight entertainment. We'll call it that, even though we're not flying. What is up, everybody? Everything's messed up, but it's no big deal. Let me get into this show, but first let me say hello to everybody. Reading me 5x5, Stephen Will, Jordan D. Nicker, Stand Up, Ryan. What's up, Jake? Kiana? Is that a new name? Yes, Gunner. Thank you for the super chat. Says, crash the yet, please. Sion, thank you for the super chat. Thank you so much. Jordan DeNicker had also put in another super chat earlier. Says, puts the class in first class. Thank you, sir. What is up? Yes, Mr. Matt, I downloaded weird stuff, but not what you said in the chat. I didn't do that. Was trying to get something else to work and crash my whole computer. I had to reset it. OBS, everything. And 4 o'clock, as 4 o'clock rolled closer and closer, I just realized there's just no way to get everything. What's up, Troy? So instead of all the stuff that we usually have, we're just going to get right into the show, okay? Music is the same volume as my voice. Thank you. Like I said, the volume's all weird today. Anyways, I want to get right into the show. Because, yeah, let me get right into the show. Got a show for you today. Please let me know. Routine backups are your friend. I know, Mr. Mad. I'm learning the hard way. But you can call in. Let me just, I don't even have the number thing to put, to throw up on the screen so you can see me, so you can see the number. Anyways, 760-515-3855. I will get to your calls. But first, let me get right into the show. You could barely hear me say what I'm talking about. Test. See, this is how I usually have it, but OBS is telling me this is crazy loud. Test. You guys are going to have to help me, okay? You guys are going to have to help me this stream. Let me know if it's way too crazy right now. It sounds like your mic is blown, see? This is what I'm talking about. Testing. Help me out, chat, okay? I got to get into this show, but as we go through it, you're going to help me out here. A little audio check from all of you. That was crazy loud, huh? Lord. I hear only on one side. This is an absolute travesty. An absolute travesty. Here, how about if I do this? Maybe now he won't come in through one side if you're having headphone issues or, if you're hearing it funny. Let me close down the flight simulator. This is not going to work. But we got a show. I also got a bit of I want to run something by all of you. my core viewers here. I'm going to run something by you because I will be going daily. Don't worry, Jake. Let me get into the show first, and then maybe you can call in. But like you may know, Jesse has found a new producer for the Jesse Lee Peterson show, which has been an awesome thing. Having Sean around has been great. It's helped a lot. And looking forward to going daily, 5 days a week. And I got stuff that I've been working on in the background, plugging away at that for this 5 day a week show. You know, we've been having fun, nickstream, just kind of doing like a more long form, relaxed stream where at times I do kind of like a more informed show, but in general, relaxed, kind of unique take on streaming with the flight and all that. And I definitely want to keep that up. But I'm going to be doing this 5 day a week show. And I wanted to hit you. I wanted to, what's it called? Test this new sort of, I guess, name for the channel. Okay, because nickstream's cool. Nickstream sounds like a total streamer. And there will be something about nickstream that'll stay alive. But as I go 5 days a week, I'm going to intro you this new name for channel/show. Tell me what you think. Be honest. I think it's more captivating than nickstream. I think more people who hear this name will think, let me check that out. I almost don't want to tell you, but to the few that are here, maybe I should. Or should I wait? Should I wait? Should I wait? You know what? I'm going to wait instead of ruining the surprise. Oh, man. What a dirty Anyways, moving on. Moving on. Listen, let's get right into the show, okay? I'm sorry for that aside. No. I'm going to keep it a secret. See people saying Gliz stream, Nick Cast IRL. No. No, it's better. It's better than that. What a... Someone in the chat said something that's close to it. Okay. You guys seen the movie The Purge? I saw it. I know there's like multiple movies. I saw one of them. I saw that a while ago. The movie The Purge. And I wish I could show you more video and clips, but it's just us. Maybe a little bit of music. That's the stream. Just us, calls, and a little bit of music, considering the computer's not set up. But if you've seen The Purge is basically about... It's a fictional movie set in America when they have a holiday called The Purge. America, in this movie, got so violent and out of control that they needed a yearly holiday to deal with that called The Purge. And one day a year in this fictional America, the populace is allowed to run buck wild. No laws, all crime is allowed. You can get it all out. So, and then the movie, I believe, I forget now, but the movie, I believe, says that thanks to this holiday, America began to live in relative peace, or in pretty much very, like no crime society, because everybody gets it out. Everybody gets it out in that 1 day a year. And anything's allowed. In the movie, you see people prepare for this holiday by sharpening their weapons and planning different things, while others who, planning to do crimes and rape, kill, steal, because there's mayhem in the streets on The Purge, in, Purge Day or whatever. Purge Day. And while others in the movie, you see other characters in the movie prepare for the holiday by barricading their apartments and all that, by barricading themselves in and preparing for the oncoming crime. And no police, no laws, no penalties until that, it is a creepy movie. It is a creepy movie, Teresa. What's up, Teresa? So, yeah, that's The Purge. You may have seen it. Well, did you know that The Purge is a little bit more real than I thought, then maybe some of you thought, some of you might know what I'm about to bring up. But it turns out we do have a purge. We have a yearly purge already. And some people are saying, oh, that's totally not fiction, considering crime. And I see your point. In many ways, that movie is becoming... no, I've seen it before, Jake, but I'm bringing it up for a reason. Ignore chat. Sorry, let me move this. So basically, we already have a yearly purge. And I'm not talking about the crime and insanity that's going on now, as purge-like as it is. Turns out we do. And it started this past Wednesday, I believe. Oh, no, sorry. It happened this past Tuesday, I believe. And I'm talking about Lent a little bit. Okay? And you know Lent started. Did it start Wednesday, I believe? It started on Ash Wednesday. You might have to correct me if I'm wrong here, some of you. Ash Wednesday is a Catholic. The Catholics and some Orthodox denominations and other denominations observe Ash Wednesday, where you place the ashes on your forehead. It symbolizes different things. And it symbolizes the start of Lent, which starts in different time periods for different denominations, but it mostly starts around this time, and it's a 40-day fast. And then you fast from a lot of good things that bring you pleasure. Many give up meat, for example. I know Christians who gave up swearing or something like that. You give up something that you like. You give up or something sinful, quote unquote. And it lasts for 40 days. It's supposed to be kind of like Jesus and his 40-day fast in the wilderness, right? So it started Wednesday, Lent, and it goes up until Easter. It's supposed to be a preparation, right? Preparation for the celebration of the death and resurrection of Jesus, Easter. Now, do normal Christians, do other Christians do the Lent thing too, or is that just Catholics? You might have to correct me on this. But that's what's going on, right? Lent, 40 days. Catholic Encyclopedia says the purpose of Lent is to provide purification by weaning men from sin and selfishness through self-denial and prayer. That's how you wean yourself from sin, self-denial and prayer. According to the Catholics, at least the Catholic Encyclopedia, Lent is used for fasting from sin and from vice, forsaking sin and sinful days. Well, we do, like I was saying, we do have a purge. And it's the Tuesday before Lent, before Ash Wednesday, before Lent starts, the pre-Lenten period, as it's known by numerous different names. But you may know it as Mardi Gras. Mardi Gras, French for Fat Tuesday, is the big feast, the big carnival, the big celebration before the Lenten period. I didn't know this. Some of you might know this, and you're probably like, oh, whatever, Nick. Maybe you're thinking this is stupid. But I just realized a couple of things from this, and we'll have more to talk about in this show. Kind of related to this, got other topics coming up as well. Going to be dealing with relationships, a little bit of Ukraine, a little bit of there's people fed up with the blacks, and Trump comeback, dealing with perversion today. But right now I'm dealing with the annual purge. We do have a purge. It's called Mardi Gras. And Mardi Gras Fat Tuesday, also known as Shrove Tuesday. Some people even call it Pancake Day. You ever heard of Pancake Day? I've literally never heard of any of these. I've only heard of Mardi Gras. And I used to just see it as this festival where people go in the streets wearing beads. And I remember even hearing about some sordid activities that go on in the streets. Some of these ladies doing stuff. We'll get into that. But Mardi Gras, historically, it's a global thing. It's like a global celebration. It happens, it's at least not always on the same date globally, but it is a pre-Lenten period celebration. And it's that day you feast or you celebrate, you carnival, you do all the things that you're not allowed to do that you're about to give up. So it's called Shroventide, more even farther back. Shrove Tuesday, Shroventide. Shrove, past tense of the word shriven, an archaic word, which means to hear the confession of, or assign penance to, and absolve. Okay, old word. It's an old English word, English derived from Germanic roots with a little bit of Romantic influence, meaning Latin. And the word shriven, hear the confession of, to absolve of sins. Think about that. Shrove Tuesday, you're about to, or been forgiven. Coming from the Latin scribere and the Germanic schreiben, to write, means to draw upon, to write. And it's interesting language here. Pretty interesting language here. But before I get into that, I want to make this quick point. You got to think about this. Mardi Gras, the purge. It is the day before you do all the things on the day before that you give up these things. And what is it that you're supposed to be giving up? You're sinning. What are you fasting from? Well, food. But why? Because you are fasting from, at least according to them, from sin and vice. And so the day before, make sure you get all your sinning in. It's pretty... think about that for a second. How does that make any sense? Okay? That's what I didn't know this about Mardi Gras. So Mardi Gras Fat Tuesday, supposed to be a Christian or Catholic or Christian celebration, a preparation for the Lent period, which is a preparation for the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. But it's devolved into, I don't even know if I can show you some of this. Let me just, it's like totally devolved, right? I'm sure many of you know about Mardi Gras celebrations in New Orleans. Louisiana, see, I'm going down Twitter after searching Mardi Gras. I don't think I can show you any of this. Oh, no. Fights. And basically, women that's like a common thing. You guys all know what I'm talking about, right? Where you're supposed to go topless if they give you beads. And you're out there on the streets celebrating away, drunk, flashing people for beads, out in the streets, getting wild, unaware, drunk with alcohol and drunk with excitement and drunk with emotion. How does that make sense? So we do have a purge. We have a purge society, purge cult that we're living in. Ritualistic purge cult society, okay? It's like, what are you fasting from? Well, you're supposed to be fasting from the sin, but hey, let's do it again next year. What sense does that make? It's no different than the people in the movie getting ready and sharpening their knives, ready to kill, steal, and rape so that we can start Lent. You know what I mean? Shrovetide, the word's interesting. Shriven, it's coming from scribere and schreiben, meaning to write, to draw upon the law. Think about that. Recording penance, have a record of, have evidence of. You start thinking a little bit about where words come from. It's just kind of interesting to me. You ever heard, and take this little language play here, little interesting language play here. Take this in. Shrift. You ever heard the expression to give short shrift? Meaning to not give much attention to. Shrift also shares a root with scribere, with shrive, with the shriven. To give short shrift means to not give too much attention to. So kind of an interesting connection there. Also, that expression itself, to give short shrift, is interesting because that's not the original meaning of that expression. A short shrift was the moment before a criminal was executed. It's like a 16th century word. And that means your little window of time before you're executed to plead your case or plead for like absolution and penance and salvation. Your short shrift. Shrove Tuesday, the purge. So yeah, makes me think about a couple of things, and I think we do this to ourselves a lot. We do this to ourselves where we think we can trick God in a sense. You tell yourself, I'm going to fast to have more self-control and develop a strong will. But I don't know if this if that's even possible. You know what I mean? And not only that, tricking God, it's like just because you're doing a fast, just because you're doing a certain action, but you're just going to next year do it again. Your lives are not going to change. You're not going to love the greatest commandment of all, love your neighbor as thyself. You're just going to trick God with a little carnival, a little festival, a little purge. I think he can see through that, right? He's like God. That's just my thinking of it. And I think about self-control and developing a strong will, like through like self-denial, like denying yourself and trying to develop a will. I wonder if that's a form of thinking that you could change your life. And I don't know how many of you have been trying to change your life, change parts of yourself and you just can't. So I wonder if there's some connection there. So Shrove Tuesday. Anyways, moving on here. You may have heard some of this conversation about diets on Hake Report. I'm kind of making a connection here too between this fasting and self-denial and abstaining from sin to try and bring yourself closer to God, and this connection to like fad diets. People, I know a lot of people who really try to they like put themselves through intermittent fasting or some kind of like crazy diet or like self-denial thing to try and get stronger or lose fat or something like that. And we don't need to be that crazy. The whole anti-sugar thing, it was like started because of the government, and it turns out they were wrong. Oh no, sorry. They said that fat was bad. The government said fat was bad. People figured out that that's not true. And so now they're like, no, fat's fine. Protein's great. It's sugar that's evil. So you got to go keto. You got to go carnivore. You got to go. So now carbs are hated. And now you go from one thing to the other. And I just don't find it normal. Our society likes pain. They like pain. They see like a lack of growth or internal problems and think self-denial and pain will wake them up. But it doesn't always. You know what I'm saying? Kind of just rambling here. A little bit of a ramble stream. So self-denial is a punishment. Just weird culty things. Okay, we think of cult. Think about cult. Think of like dark hooded figures and dark worship. Or modernly defined as simply a religious system with particular rites and customs. I mean, I don't think it's that far to look at a Mardi Gras festival as a like satanic ritual. Let me see here. Yeah, we're like an evil society in love with rituals in this totally new modern way, yet in reality a truly old thing, just like biblical times, no different than like the Babylonians, Moses and the Jews are in that time. They're into like a bunch of weird stuff, right? So that, that's on that. And it made me think of this story of Conrad Aska. And I've been thinking about this a lot. Well, not that much, but I've been thinking about it a bit. And it's the story of that pilot. This pilot, Conrad Aska, he was a pilot for this contracting company, Atlas Air. And he died. He's dead. You may have seen a little bit on the Jesse Lee Peterson show. And so this Conrad Aska guy, born in Antigua, I believe, was in a cargo plane, flying in a cargo plane for Amazon with a co-pilot and one more pilot who was hitching a ride, when the plane went down, nickstream style, and killed all three pilots. Okay, the plane went down. According to the story goes that Aska took full control of the plane on the way to land, accidentally pressed a button called the go around button, which tells the computer to go around, fly around, so give you more time to land or whatever. Anyways, pressed that button, gave the plane, the man who taught Nick how to fly. It made the plane weird to control. Aska panicked, pushed on the stick, crashed the plane. Hired by Atlas Air, had 8 different employers. He would panic and press buttons. When he was panicked, Aska would just press buttons, according to one of his employers. He would just panic, just start pressing buttons just to press buttons, according to the statement from the employer. They said Aska would press buttons just to press buttons. So Atlas Air hires this guy. They end up finding out that he couldn't even graduate the flight simulator stuff. They had to start it up just for him again. Atlas Air just openly praises DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion. Affirmative action anchor baby pilot. Yes, Aska, I don't know if he was an anchor baby, but he may have been a affirmative action pilot, because Atlas Air openly states they are guided by DEI philosophy, as they say. Amazon, multiple different airlines. This is a known thing. And so I just thinking about this story a lot, at least somewhat, just because how can this even happen? How can a society be so, I mean, I can understand being deceived, not understanding something, being kept in the dark about something, but to see this happening, I mean, how some things are just so obviously wrong. Some things are just so obviously wrong that you can't defend. Yet people defend this. People defend DEI. They even defend the airline stuff. I wish I could show you this, but I don't have the computer set up correctly. But this article, 1 mile at a time. Oh, I think I can here. Okay. 1 mile at a time. This travel, media blog ran by 𝒏𝒊𝒄𝒌𝒔𝒕𝒓𝒆𝒂𝒎. Defends this, in fact, talks about Tucker's segment on this aviation incidents and the rise of diversity quotas in the airline industry and how it's going to cause accidents, and has already maybe. Well, 1 mile at a time even decries his, Tucker's thing on it. There's people defending this. And I think about how it can be defended. Some things are just so obviously wrong, but they're part of a cult. They're part of a cult. They take sides, they fit into categories, and your side believes this. It's my only explanation. You can show people the truth and they'll deny what they see. They're in the cult. So, the DEI cult, Mardi Gras, Fat Tuesday, the Lenten season, the purge. That's what's going on, y'all. Welcome to America. How's the water? Let me see. So they get ready for weaning off sin by sinning all at once. Yeah, Jordan Dicker. That's kind of the thinking behind it. I mean, what else can you think? What else can you conclude? It doesn't quite make sense. Only once a year, though, says Mr. Med. Right, but then you do it the next year. I don't understand. Maybe I'm not understanding something. Maybe there's something I don't get about Mardi Gras, about getting it all in the day before and then fasting. Then I'll fast. You know what I'm saying? It's like just be a pig. If it's like you're a pig, then be a pig. If you're gonna be a pothead, then be a pothead. Not like play this game where you smoke all the pot the day before Lent and then I'm gonna give it up for 40 days. Lying to yourself. Okay? When in doubt, hit buttons. Do you think that believing the Bible and thinking it's Christianity is a cult? Ask the present moment. Do you think that believing the Bible and thinking it's Christianity is a cult? It's like everything is. It's like everything is a cult. What do the Christians say cults are? I think biblically or something they say anything that's heresy against Christianity. But then look at Christianity today. You know what I'm saying? Okay. I got some more topics to get into. Oh. Man, what a shame. My computer here. I wish I had it all set up, but that's the way she goes. Okay. Okay. Well, we're having ourselves a Lenten period celebration or Nick stream. We'll continue here with some more topics. Let me see if I can put the number on the screen. How did I do that before? Bingo! 760-515-3855. Let's see here. There it is. No flight today. We'll have to figure that out. So check this out. Have you guys seen this thing here? This was talked about by a whole bunch of conservatives. This was talked about a whole bunch. Check this out. You may have seen this. Oh, see, how can I show you? Okay, so Chelsea Handler, you may have heard of her. She's what, a comedian? How old is she now? She's this comedian. I don't know if she's funny. I've never really seen her stuff. But she's well known in that world. American comedian, actress, television host. She's 48 years old. Known to be a bit of a feminist. Okay. Known to be, this and that. Now, Chelsea Handler is also known for, to at least some circles, especially the conserva bros, that she's this childless woman and an example of the evils of feminism and how you're going to end up. You're going to end up wrinkled and sad, like Chelsea Handler. And so she put out this little TikTok or video. She's being cute in this video saying, "This is the day in the life of a childless woman." And so, let me see here. This is the video.
This is a day in the life of a childless.
Lord. Here.
This is a day in the life of a childless woman. I wake up at 6 a.m. I remember that I have no kids to take to school, so I take an edible, masturbate, and go back to sleep.
Dirty.
I wake up at 12:30 p.m. and
Down!
get ready for a busy day of...
I should spray her with a little bottle. A little spray in the face. Like, down. Bad.
Doing whatever the I feel like. I put on my most impractical and stylish shoes since I won't be chasing a child around the grocery store. I go to my fave spot in Paris to grab a croissant. I do a meditation sesh on the plane since I have no screaming kids, allowing me all the time in the world to become enlightened. The weightlessness of my existence has granted me superhuman powers. I teleport myself back home. Then I get ready for a night out with whatever hot guy I met on Raya that morning. I call her the babysitter and tell her that I don't need her since I still don't have kids. Now it's time for a workout, so I hit Mount Everest for a quick climb. I invent a time machine, go back in time, and kill Hitler. Freeze, you bastard! It's amazing what you can do when you have this much free time. And that's a day in the life of a childless woman.
Okay. I was going to stop it, but we had to play the whole thing, I guess. Kind of cringy. But, so right away, the conservatives were like, wow, look, this is a childless woman. Look at how miserable she is. She's hiding it. She's hiding her misery. Yeah, she's just trolling, right? But anyways, and look, feminism, look. They made motherhood lame. They put women in competition with men, and it made women ambitious, or at least brought out a more ambitious or more ambition in women, and leaving women unhappy. Okay, unhappy in many ways, right? Unhappy in a job, unhappy in a career, trying to compete. In many cases, not well. In some cases, outperforming, whatever. And so I understand that whole take. I understand. And it's true. There's truth in that a lot. Feminism has at least brought women down a path not of their own, and not in harmony with man and with God, not in harmony with things that are good. Really to destroy. Led them down the path to want to destroy everything that's been built up. They call it the patriarchy. They call it misogyny. They call everything you see as like a system built by men. You got to break it down and build it back up for women. In many cases, many people think, at least adjacent to this, kind of like how blacks want to bring down this white supremacist system, and it's got to be all taken apart. Because it was built anyways. And so I understand all that. But now that I understand the darkness of desires, or at least I'm starting to, and how most people get married for the wrong reasons, I don't know about, I think there's a little bit more of a nuanced take on this. I hear people say, now when I hear people say, I want to get married because I want to be a father, or I want to be married, or in a lot of cases, they won't say this part because for sex. I don't know if Chelsea's so off base here. Based Chelsea Handler is having the time of her life while all these people thinking that a marriage or a kid is going to make them happy are kind of stuck. You know what I'm saying? And so I saw this response video. This little parody response to Chelsea Handler by this guy, JP Spears. And he's a conservative, I believe. He makes conservative comedy, I believe. I could be wrong. So this is the conservative response. Oh my God, hold on. This is the conservative response to Chelsea Handler. Day in the life of a childless man.
In the life of a childless man. In the morning, I wake up to the alarm of unbearable feelings of glorious loneliness. From that point, I do whatever I want, because not having kids empowers me to stay an immature child myself. With my coffee, I write in my journal to remind me how the world does in fact revolve around me. At noon, I award myself 10 virtue signaling points for not having kids. just like the globalists want. In the afternoon, I treat myself to red light therapy to help strengthen my narcissism at the cellular level. Then I enjoy reading about Marxism and all the benefits of destroying the nuclear family. So good. And before bed, I count my money and think about how it's the true source of happiness. Those idiots with kids are missing out. I would cry myself to sleep, but I'm a man, so I repress my emotions instead. It's amazing how much meaning you can miss out on when you set your life up to make everything about you. And that's the day in the life of a childless man. This
Okay, and look, I get it. I'm with it. Look, people are all about themselves, and it's like, oh, let me be about me, about money, about all these things that are not going to bring you happiness or fulfillment or fill that emptiness or the void you have. And in some ways, you can see that Chelsea is promoting that kind of stuff, and wanting to have a child might be the other way. But I don't know if a kid is gonna feel that either. But if we look at the little details of this conservative response to this, okay, I don't know. He's talking about, being lonely and empty every day without kids. It's like, why would you get married in that state? Why would a woman get with a man like that who's just lonely and empty every day without kids? And that's desperation. You should be careful with that. Like, if you meet a guy who's like, I'm so lonely and empty because I don't have kids. Hey, we should have kids. Like, I don't think that's the right spirit. I don't think that's the right mentality of things. And he's talking about, you gotta hear the subtext. He's like, and every day I repress my emotions because I'm a man. He's implying that men need to be more emotional in that. Okay. Look, if this is the conservative response, I'm with base Chelsea Handler. Look, do what you want until, be free or whatever until you're like in the right position, until God gives it to you. I'm not saying that's what Chelsea's saying. You follow me here a little bit? It's like people who have kids aren't exactly like selfless, okay? They do it for themselves. They do it for ego reasons, for feel-good reasons. And then the kids become a burden. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of a weak response. I don't know. It's kind of feminine. I guess it's a joke. I get it. JP Spears doing a joke. He's cool. I get it. But it's kind of feminine. It's like two women. That was a video from two women. That was a woman, a day in the life of a childless woman, Chelsea Handler, and a day in the life of a childless woman. Yeah, kind of funny video there from JP. Look, JLP, I'm on his network. Thank you for that. I'm on Jesse's network. JLP showed me that video, JP Spears, and it was funny. We were laughing it up. We were yucking it up, but I saw it again, and I just stuff I thought might be interesting. Some stuff that I thought you might find interesting. I mean, think about people raising children. People have kids to be like them. I'm going to raise my kid to be like me. Like, imagine the ego you have to think that you can do that. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Look, I'm just kind of rambling, I guess, now. 'Cause I don't have kids. But I imagine you having like a bunch of kids and they all have kind of like their nature that God gave them or something. Their gifts, their talents, their nature. And you can impart stuff. You can impart stuff in ways, and they may pick up stuff and all that. But they're going to have their nature. And imagine the ego to think that you can make them like you. And then when they're not, things go wrong. It causes tension. They don't act right. Rambling like a mug. Imagine if you didn't have the judgment or expectation of a kid. I'd say maybe this is too far. I think JP's response is more destructive to the nuclear family. Okay, maybe that's too far. He was kidding, right? It's just a little parody video. But an emotional man, I'm lonely and empty every day without kids, and a woman for purpose. and maturity. I think might be more destructive. You know what's way more destructive to the nuclear family, though? You know what's way more destructive to the nuclear family? This. Ah! Ah! Sorry, guys. Sorry, peeps. I've been influenced by Hake. I've gotten a good influence from Hake, so I know when something's too much. Too much to show, but I'm doing it anyways. I don't have the same limitations as Hake. I don't have the same self-policing as Hake. This is the this is a Vogue magazine cover. Did you guys see this? This is more destructive to the nuclear family. How about this? Vogue. This is that Vogue. What? Vogue? What the heck is Vogue? Vogue magazine cover. Vogue magazine. Fashion magazine. An American monthly fashion and lifestyle magazine. Okay. Isn't that a man, woman, and child? Not following you, Nick. Kevin Howie is asking, how is this, a picture of a man, woman, and child, more destructive to the nuclear family? You guys don't see it? I was about to tell you, but this is interesting. People aren't seeing. Come on, guys. Okay, Ryan, I get it. Maybe it was comedy. Maybe I'm stretching a point from the Chelsea stuff. Whatever. I may be stretching a bit of a point here. The woman is leading. The woman is leading. You got it. Yeah, look at this. Rihanna, very successful, very successful, very rich. I'm not saying don't have kids. That's not what I'm saying. My bloodline ends with me, says evil is real. I'm not saying don't have kids. Hake says with a super chat, being without kids is comfortable slavery. I know. It's a good point. Being with kids for the wrong reasons is uncomfortable slavery. But maybe you can make good of a wrong situation, right? I mean, that might be all marriages. That might be all relationships, marriages. It's a wrong situation, and hopefully you're on the path of trying to make it right. That might be all that might be all marriages. Come together for the wrong reasons, sex, usually. Have kids, da. But then try to make old things new. So Rihanna here in this Vogue cover, leading 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔, this rapper, New York based, I think so, 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔, right? He's from like the gutter. 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔, tough guy, tough dude. Got born and raised in Harlem, where they're mad brolic, which means tough in New York slang for some. Yeah, Rihanna here is in this. To me, it's clear. It's just so in your face. The woman is in front, leading the man. The man is in the back, holding the baby, with a little, holding him, giving him the kiss. 𝒂𝒄𝒄𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒔 has, I believe, impregnated Rihanna twice. Already had one kid. Other stuff going on. I think you're thinking of Aesop Rock. Or maybe that's someone else. Hake. So, yeah. I mean, this is more destructive. This is what I was talking about. Vulnerability. The woman leading. He sure got turned out for ASAP. And there's this trend is everywhere. It continues in many. There's a whole bunch of there's a huge trend of the woman leading. Started a while ago, but was that wrong to say that? Everything is fake? He said impregnated. What the? I don't know. Maybe I should be careful. I didn't mean to be gross. I'm not trying to. I thought that was normal. What a cute baby. And to a lot of people, this is not clear. A lot of people, this isn't clear that there's something wrong here. At least visually, right? I don't know them. I don't know what's going on. But at least it's visually wrong. And a lot of people praise it. A lot of people were praising it, not seeing why some see it as wrong, okay? Okay, maybe it sounded weird. And there's this trend on TikTok. It's like all under the title of "We Got 'Em" or "Got 'Em in the Most Vulnerable State," and it's women filming their boyfriends, their man, in vulnerable states. Okay, how do I full screen this? You see this? He's like a little baby in her arms. Got him in the most vulnerable state with the little devil sign. We got him because she understands. This woman in this TikTok understands that this is wrong. This is wrong. That's why they put the little devil emoji saying, we got him. We got him in the most vulnerable states. She understands there's something wrong about this, but she gets an excitement out of putting it out there, and maybe this could be a joke, okay? Fair enough. But there's other videos like this following this trend. It's because she understands what she's doing here, or at least what she's representing. So don't put yourself in that state. She'll hate you for it. Okay, and you've heard this, right? You've heard, don't tell women like your issues or your problems. They'll use it against you. They'll judge you. All true. But it has to be like real. You know, it has to be real where you know, you could be putting up a front and like, look at me, I'm so tough. And that's actually vulnerable as well. Because they'll find a chink in the armor. Kink in the armor? Chink in the armor? I don't think that's how you say that. So it has to be real. And that comes with just an inner knowing where you are, who you are, where you at. If you're just confident, what's the word? You know, you got an insecurity, but you put it on the front. That's different than that's different than the other way around. If you outwardly looked vulnerable, but inside you were solid. That's what's more important. Oh, a chink is correct? No, you're lying. You can't say that. Yeah. Imagine outwardly, it's better to be inwardly strong or secure, and as opposed to outwardly. Kind of like this Mardi Gras stuff, you know. What's the point of an outward carnival and outward fasting as opposed to, you know, an actual renewing? I mean, it's an actual renewing from God, right? And I'm not going to get into what that means. It means something. I have some understanding, but I'm not trying to be all Bible-y here or holy here, okay? Just trying to be me. But I mean, it's all over the freaking book. It's like, you have to be born again. Your heart has to be changed. It's all that. That's not stuff that you can self-denial fast yourself into, okay? Amazing. Okay. You guys fighting about different spellings of armor? We're in America, okay? That's O-R, I think. A-R-M-O-R. Okay. So I got more stuff here. Got some stuff to get into here. Got some show stuff to get into here. Just give me a second. Some people ask me. Someone just messaged me. Someone just messaged me why we're not flying. Look, I'll explain again. Hopefully I'm not explaining this too much, but my computer, I had to reset it. So I don't have OBS, which is a streaming software, how I'm doing this show from my computer. And I don't have Microsoft Flight Simulator and all that stuff set up correctly. So it's just me. It's just me, this camera, and you guys, okay? That's how we're doing this. It's no big deal, okay? We got ourselves a little call skis.
Call from.
Okay. We got ourselves a little call skis. Okay, caller, your name and where are you calling from?
It's me, Teresa.
What's up, Teresa? How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Welcome.
I'm doing well, excuse me.
Almost had to get you on that one.
Yeah, I know. Hey, listen, did you hear about, all that train derailment stuff in Ohio?
Big time.
Okay,
all over the news.
So, I just found out that they brought, now, I don't remember exactly how many cars of that tainted water. They took it to a place in Houston called Deer Park.
Okay. There's another one you said?
Well, no. From that derailment, all those derailed cars and the water from it, they sent all these carts to... Hello?
I'm here. I'm listening.
Oh, I'm sorry. They sent all the carts to this place in Deer Park in Houston. And
gotcha.
They said something about they're going to bury it, or... I just heard about it today.
Isn't
And
that your neck of the woods?
No. Well, it's probably 50 miles north of me.
Someone in chat called it Fear Park. Does that mean anything?
Deer, D-E-R.
Yeah, Deer Park. But do people sometimes call it Fear Park?
Oh, yeah.
Really? Why?
Because there's some really rough places in Deer Park.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so you were saying, go on.
Mostly Latino, though. It's
okay, so it's that kind of violence.
Latino.
We got that Latino violence, which is unique, very violent, very very up close and personal.
But it's rough over there in some parts. But then there's some. It's kind of industrial too.
Okay.
That area, but I'm sure a lot of those people are not happy about that. I'm sure we're going to hear about something real soon because they just kind of took all the stuff over there and didn't ask, permission. And I was like, isn't that funny how they're sending all that stuff to Texas?
So they're sending all this waste, this dirty stuff over to Texas.
Right. They're sending it all to one particular place where all this industrial stuff is, all this oil stuff like oil plants and gasoline plants, and there's a lot of plants in Deer Park.
And, I'm totally following you, and I don't blame anyone thinking this is an issue because, you could, as a layman, not understand what these companies may be doing. But after everything we've seen and their handling of how they handle any situation, how they responded to the Ohio thing so nonchalantly. What it seemed like to me that way.
Until Trump went there.
Exactly.
When Trump went there, all of a sudden it's like, let's take our tails over there and see what's going on.
So true. So when you consider that, I don't blame people being worried because if that's how they handled things, I'm not going to believe you when you tell me, don't worry, it's safe what we're doing.
And here's another, I don't know if this is a conspiracy or you would consider this a conspiracy or not.
Hit me with it.
When the thing happened in Ohio, I was like, why would they do that there? Why would they do that there? So I just put in Google, I was like, what is Ohio's biggest producer? Like, what do they produce the most? Guess.
Guess? Okay.
Take a guess. A wild guess.
I'm going to take
Everything
a wild
that's been
guess.
going on right now.
I'm going to try and take an educated guess, really. Won't try not to be wild here. Eggs.
And chicken.
Oh, wait, what?
And chicken.
Oh, so I was right about eggs.
Yes. They're the
Okay.
biggest producer in the United States of chickens and eggs.
There's been a lot of weird news about food production, manufacturing plants and farms having accidents, having fires, and having destruction of a lot of product across the country.
Who do you think's doing it? Do you think we're doing it,
I
or
really
some
don't
other
know.
country is doing it?
I really don't
I think
know.
we're doing it.
Oh, you think it's Cassie? It's like a domestic, like a government doing it
Domestic
to
terrorism.
exactly. Some of that good old homegrown domestic terrorism. Well, help me understand why you say that.
Because, I mean, okay, it's just so much going on. And, I mean, really, yes, you would, if you're at war with the country, and stuff like that, you're going to do it slow and everything, and you're going to try to affect the food. And I thought about that too, but with them not reacting as quickly as they should have, that told me everything. And here's another thing. Why do they say it's safe, but then you see a whole bunch of people there in hazmat suits?
So true, right? It's so safe while they're head to toe with PPE or whatever. It's like, don't worry, everything's fine.
Are they trying to just tell these people this and it's really not as bad as it is, or it is as bad? They're trying to get all these people to move out, and they're going to pay them little or whatever to get up out of there, and they're just going to do a land grab. Because BlackRock or whoever those people that buy up everything in Vanguard are the two people that own this train company.
Oh, they do,
Like, they have investment in it.
Gotcha.
So, I don't know. I'm almost thinking almost like 911, we did it.
Well, I got what you said there. Look, I just don't know. I don't know. It's all speculation at that point.
But that's just, it is speculation.
But it's fine.
Speculating right now. But
yeah, no, that's fine.
I mean,
it's all speculation at that point. You know what I saw?
You might not even hear about this Houston thing.
Oh, yeah, who knows?
Or Deer Park.
But you know what I saw?
I doubt very seriously you'll hear about it.
Who knows? I mean, the way news is and the way the news goes, it's hard to know.
That rail company has had so many problems. I'm talking about within the past 20 years.
Right. I was going to bring this up. Think about, I saw this post on how there was like 20, something like almost 20 train derailments since the start of February, right? And we're supposed, the post I saw was making it seem like, well, what's going on? What's so weird? All of a sudden, these train derailments, only just this month, 20 of them. But, I mean, that just makes me think that this happens a lot then. Train derailments seem to be kind of common. And not, so common, but they don't happen as rarely as people might think. It's just train derailment. That's a hot term. That's a hot Google search term right now. So the news is going to be pushing that.
Here's the thing with I know those trains have technology. I know they're not that darn old. You know what I'm saying? And even they said that they should have known that those cars were on fire, and they should have stopped that train immediately or whatever. There's indicators. Why didn't any of these people know, or, they was acting like, oh, well, they just didn't know what they were doing. You're an engineer.
Well, but I don't know if you know. At that point now, I don't know if you know. Right? Because unless you're like, well, maybe I missed what you said. Are you saying that they should have known that it's going to derail?
A pilot has experience. A pilot, just like that one guy you showed, those ones with no experience and that panic and stuff like that. Well, that's the same thing with engineers and trains and stuff, I do know they get paid a lot of money.
Fair enough. Fair
and
enough.
They don't get paid a lot of money for just sitting there and pushing a button.
Well, maybe they can't. Maybe they are, and that's why things are going wrong.
That could be true.
That's like,
oh well, I'm gonna let you move the wheel.
No,
I just
thank
wanted
you.
to bring
Thank
that up.
Totally interesting. Who knows what's going down, but I can't. The public doesn't seem to trust it. It's wild. We're seeing wild stories. We don't know if it's normal or if this is out of the ordinary, and we can't seem to trust the media or the leaders. So we're kind of in a weird position here. Thank you, Teresa, for your call. Moving the wheels.
All right.
Thank you for that. Thanks, Teresa. Okay. Nickstream crashes a few times here and there. We're going to call that a conspiracy now? Hey, you guys talking trash? Oh, man. What did someone else say something funny? All of a sudden, Nick, a coincidence theorist. Whatever. Just because you crash planes all the time, Nick, doesn't mean trains derail all the time. Okay, but I heard, what was it? Pete Buttigieg, the transportation secretary guy. I mean, he said it happens, not all the time, but there's like thousands or whatever of train derailments a year. Okay, I mean, he's not gonna lie. Okay, maybe they'd lie, but that's kind of those like verifiable stats kind of stuff, and they lie with stats and numbers, but that happens. Okay, that happens in a year. In Nickstream, airlines insurance premiums are high like a mug. That freaking happens. Okay, trains derail, and so when I see this Facebook post with a map with exclamation marks everywhere and conspiracy music behind it saying all these train derailments since February, this is crazy. This is so crazy, but we don't know. We don't know that. What are you talking about, Hake? No. I don't know what you're saying. Okay. Getting distracted by chat here. Let me do this here. Cause there's what should I do next? You guys seen this? Let's do a little bit of a funny thing, but kind of interesting. There's this, I ran across this TikTok channel, and it's called Homeless in Toronto 2. Toronto, Canada. Anyways, I came across this TikTok video, and it's this guy, and he's like a review. He does like a review of food. One of those review TikTok food review channels on TikTok. Well, they like look at the food and they review it, and that's what it is. Anyway, so this guy is a homeless shelter food review person.
Hey guys, this is the meal that I got from the Fred Victor homeless shelter. Let's open it up and see what it is. So we got a styrofoam container, we got some cutlery here, but they forgot to put a bottle of water. I don't know if they got my recommendation, but Fred Victor, one of my recommendations for you guys is to include a bottle of water with the meals that you guys serve, along with a salt packet for sure. Let's open this up and see what it is. All right. Okay, so the eggs are deshelled and looks like they're scrambled. I like that. I prefer this way. There's one ketchup packet here, and usually I would prefer 2 ketchup packets because I mean one is not really that much. And we
this is homeless food, okay? I mean, homeless food. It's from a homeless shelter.
Definitely need salt for this kind of meal, guys, because there's potatoes high in potassium plus the eggs. So yeah, this is a great meal. I love this meal. This is actually one of my favorite meals from the homeless shelters. So Fred Victor,
what's up, Tex-Mex?
You got your meals down right. I love this meal. This is one of the best meals, my favorite meals of all time from the shelters. It's just that you guys have a little bit of small tweaks that you guys need to make to achieve excellence, which is to include a salt packet and a bottle of water. That'll complete this meal for sure. Thank you for your support, Fat Victor and the City of Toronto, for providing these meals.
Oh, he's
I
thankful.
hope that you're able to implement my recommendations and improve the quality of services that you provide to homeless people in the City of Toronto, so we can have more dignity for our people who are in most need.
Have more dignity. Yeah, someone said that's a disgusting chair. That is the lovely red chair of the TTC. I know those chairs well. Anyways, it's the public transport in Toronto. In fact, that might be a streetcar. I believe you might be either on a streetcar or the subway. You might be in the subway. It looks like it, just from the looks of it. The point is, though, this guy, Fred Victor, as I found out later, so are we really being a food critic at the homeless shelter? Yeah, that's what this guy does. And he's doing it in the noble pursuit of wanting excellence out of homeless shelters. But isn't there like an adage, beggars can't be choosers? It's just kind of wild, the entitlement a little bit. If this guy's homeless, if not, it's still kind of up there. This video is gross. Someone says. Anyways, he's giving them reviews and he's asking Toronto to have more dignity for people. Put a salt packet in there. Have a little bit more dignity for these street people and put a salt packet in a bottle of water. You're just going to give them free food. You're just going to give them these eggs and potatoes. Just like that, without salt in a bottle of water. How dare you? That's just funny. It's just funny. The entitlement is out of control in the world, in this country. It's wild. Although some might say this guy's based. Everyone's complaining. You can't do that. You can't complain. You can't say that. That was free. Meanwhile, he gets his free meal. He's like, where's the salt? You're missing the water. Kind of Chad behavior, but ultimately entitled. What a mess. That's what's going on. Toronto will have, mark my words, they will have, and they're already kind of a little bit more and more. In fact, I went recently to a trip back to Canada to visit family, and I saw homeless tents in the streets, like city streets of Toronto, which I've never really, I'm trying to think if I've seen them before. I can't say I have. No, I don't think I have. Not before. Not when I left. Before I left. Been in LA for a few years. Plenty of homeless out here. It's wild. And then I went back and I'm seeing homeless tents. Maybe saw one or two before. But this was to a much larger degree. Okay? We're talking side by side. Kind of how you see them here in LA. Mark my words, Toronto will have them running everywhere, just like in LA. Maybe not to the same extent, because they do have winter in Toronto, in Canada, aka homeless culling, CULL, the culling of homeless, which happens, the homeless culling season, naturally, of course. I'm not saying anything to go do, you two. Yeah. Anyways, entitlement, wild stuff. You can always tell people on food stamps because their cart is stacked to the ceiling. Deport the homeless. Deport them. You've gone back on your responsibilities to your country, and now you're getting deported. How about that? Deport the homeless. You had a responsibility, you citizen. You had a responsibility. You have responsibilities. You're responsible for, and you're going back on those responsibilities. Is it your responsibility to not be homeless and not let yourself get into that state? Arguably, yes. That might be arguably a responsibility a citizen has. So Hake might be onto something. Deport the homeless. Speaking of abandoning your responsibilities, speaking of that, I came across this little video. Oh, so cute. So cute. Mexican abuelitas you're gonna see this video, and it's these Mexican abuelitas in Mexico, next to these railroad tracks, okay, holding out these white bags full of food, throwing them to multiple men, hanging off these trains on this moving train. I'm repeating myself. But this train is bound for America, for the American southern border, at least. And these abuelitas you're going to see are out there feeding these people from viral and censored TV. A group of Mexican women help feed Central American migrants crossing the border, okay? Speaking of a bunch of this stuff we're talking about. Check it out. Just giving them food and water, throwing them, making some good tosses. I gotta say, making some good tosses. The abuelitas. Look at this one. Woo! Gotta say, some accurate tosses here. Trying to give these migrants, as they're being called, but soon to be illegal aliens in America, some food and water for the treacherous journey ahead. Okay. And here's the TikTok. It's the title of the channel. I mean, the account is Las Patronas. Oh, Las Patronas. You know, they're the giving them safe patronage. Wait, is that how you say that? To America. Their journey, their treacherous journey ahead. You know what I'm saying? Sponsors, Las Patronas, the patroness, if you will. Sponsors, really, of what's soon to be illegal immigration. And it says here, this little caption in Spanish, Seguimos de pie, with a little fist sign, meaning we go on foot. And many people seeing this as cute and praising this. But what they don't realize, what's going on here, what these women, and it's the ladies pushing this along, let me feed the homeless, let me feed these men, young, single men, moving to leave them and go to this other country. Abandoning these women, female boss, Mr. Mad, but I was trying to translate it for this context. Las Patronas, they're not their bosses. They're not employing these people. Mr. Mad, they're sponsoring these people, right? They're patroning or whatever, the patronesses of this action that we're seeing by way of giving them a meal, if you're following me here. But and what they're sponsoring is the abandonment of them. Okay? Needy people, desperate people being helped along on the road to abandon the Mexico and other countries that they're coming from. Because these, as we've seen, is commonly known and statistically known, a lot of these people crossing over are single young men. I've heard them described as single, fighting age men, whatever, soldier fighting age men, to describe them as really as being at the right age, to be one of the most important assets of a country, to fight for a country, to change the country, to work for the country, to be the fathers of a country, fathers of new families, mentors and guides for those coming after them. That's what they are, but they're abandoning the country, making the place they're leaving worse. And in many cases, making the place they're going to worse. So that's another little cute video that's not so cute and actually quite evil. And it's the women who pushed it along. The women are okay with it. The women push along evil. They commonly do. I mean, look at my situation, for example. Anchor baby in America. Grew up in Canada. Came down here. You might think, oh, well, how can you be against that? And like, weren't you, your family immigrated? Your family were illegals? Ooh, you might not know that. But, so how can you not understand people wanting a better life or something like that? I mean, take me as an example. You should look at my life as an example why this is wrong. Maybe, just maybe, my family moving around so much made it easier for me to just pick up and go somewhere. In some ways, breaking something, some sort of root building mechanism, if you're following me here, where, you could say I left Canada. Canada is not in a good place. They need men to speak up and say the truth. And I easily, I looked into my cupboard one day and I had an American passport. I was born in America. Anchor baby, born here. With an illegal immigrant had me in this country. And so by birthright citizenship, I have a citizenship, an American one. Kind of a weird gray area, but I was in Canada, right? I grew up there. In some ways, you could say I abandoned them. You should see that as an example that we're just making it easier for people to do so. Because it's men who got to bring it back. And if they're all abandoning you, abuelita, what are you going to do? Nick, you're looking kind of rough, bro. That sucks. Have you done the silent prayer? Okay. Thanks to Salty Clinter. Maybe it's my curly hair. I'm not feeling rough. In fact, I'm greater than ever now that I have Sean, the new producer for the JLP show. I've been sleeping. I've been working out. Although I was already working out back on the gains train, but I feel like $1,000,000. Nugget Man says Quebec is still around 94% white. We still purebred. Really? 94% white in Quebec? I didn't know that. Something about those French Canadians. They're the ones who are. This is Nick well rested. Yeah. So this is me well rested. Uh-oh. But yeah, something about the French Canadians. They're holding it down. They're holding it down with the with the browning of Canada, which is happening very quickly. Quebec. N'est-ce pas Quebec. I know, but I'm an Anglophone. I'm a dirty Anglophone from Ontario. From Ontario, Canada. Yeah, the French did something right. Okay. So check this out. Got another topic for you. Spider Baby says, I don't like Sean with the incorrect spelling. Don't trust him. Spider Baby. See, Spider Baby's circling the wagons, okay? He's going to get to know Sean a little better. It'll be fine, but he's defensive of the Bond crew. Or maybe she, Spider Baby. Amazing. Okay. I don't know if it's further up north. It's a pretty big province, Kevin Howe. It's more out east. It's just east of Ontario. I wouldn't call it further north. It might be a little bit like Montreal might be more north. But Quebec in general. Quebec. Nick needs a mic stand. Oh, I know. I should put this down. Hold on. I just got distracted and was holding it. Sometimes I hold it and I'm like, oh, let me just sit back and chill. Okay, I got something else here for you. What should I do first? A little bit of Ukraine propaganda and a little bit of problems with delusions and the trans people. There's something going on there that I don't know if people commonly talk about, or at least not enough. What should I do first? Check this out. Let me see what chat is saying. Hey, evil is real says love and hate are not verbs. You cannot love and hate things. Let me see here. Love and hate are not verbs. You cannot love and hate things. So then what is it? It's a state of being. Evil is real. Thank you for the super chat. Anglophone. I just realized what you meant. Lin Yan Chen. Lin Yan Chen. Anglophone. Anglophone means English speaker. Maybe that's just a French term, but Anglophone. Anglophone. Francophone. Anglophone. English speaking. Francophone. French speaking. Which is more of a Canadian division. Although the race stuff is up there too. Big time. You know, anti-whiteness abound. Okay, let me get into this next story here. Hold on. Oh. That's not what I want to play. Oh. Jeez. Okay. Is my stuff working? Is this like coming in super loud now? See, I thought this was on the whole time. What a mess. This is the stream for today, okay? We'll be back with nickstream and doing the plane stuff. I'm still not decided on the daily show for flying planes every day and doing that kind of thing. Maybe. Some days, maybe not other days. I'm just going to be me. Just do the show. We'll definitely be doing that. So stay tuned for the daily drop of the show. Evil is real with another super chat. They are states of feelings. Okay. I have to agree. They're feelings. State of feeling. But I mean, in English, colloquially, it is a verb, right? Or it can be a verb. It's used as a noun. It's used as a verb, like in the English language. Okay, where are we at? Where is we? So check this out. Today marks a year since the Ukraine-Russia war started. 💐💊💂💔, a little Russian. People are talking Russian in the chat. So you know about the war, right? I was about to say, you may know about the war. Duh. Ukraine and Russia are in a war. Okay? World War III is coming. No, relax. But that was a year ago. Today marks 1 year. February 24th. And you may remember that's a lot that's happened in a year. Okay? They were talking about that Russia's defeat is imminent and Putin's back is against the wall. Biden saying, been a year. Russia doesn't look like they're letting up. Yeah, take this in. I mean, about 100,000 troops having been killed in Ukraine by now. It's from the skim. Killed or injured. 100,000. Estimated 30,000 civilians dead. 13 million Ukrainians, okay? A third of the country's population having been displaced. Okay? There's your legacy, Zelensky, president of Ukraine. 100,000 dead, 30,000 civilians. That's what's going on in your country, okay? And we've seen him do his little money grab tour around the world in America at the Grammys, asking for more money. And it seems like there's no one around to say anything about it, to stop it. Republicans, Democrats, they all agree on sending more money. That's the most important issue of our time, says Mitch McConnell, Republican. Nikki Haley, supposed to be a presidential candidate, right? Didn't she announce that she wants to be the president?
Backs of our friends, and we hold our enemies to account. And whether it's Ukraine or Israel, we take care of them because it's about freedom. And we can never stop fighting for freedom.
There is that populist strain and a lot of Republican not consensus, but growing Republican support to say, wait a minute, checks and balances here. What are we doing giving all this money to Ukraine? Where do you come down on the money, on the military, whether it be fighter jets, X, Y, and Z?
Biden was slow to the take. Yeah. He should have given Ukraine what they needed right when this started, and we'd be in a totally different place right now.
Hardcore, tough Nikki Haley giving it to Biden, saying he should have done this. Really, they agree. They all agree. Nobody's saying anything different. And slowly, the march continues to more escalation and more fighting. And it's just crazy, right? We know about this already. Every step of the way, America has kept the conflict going, denying peace talks, blocking ceasefires, parading politicians. So there's this just one part here I thought was quite interesting. Trump, his response to what's been going on in Ukraine a little bit, he recently put this out, and you might have seen this already, that World War III, we've never been as close as we are now. His warning to the world and how when he was around, it was different. Peace through strength, he said, and how in 24 hours with the right leadership, the whole conflict could be dealt with. But some interesting stuff he says right at the beginning.
World War III has never been closer than it is right now. We need to clean house of all of the warmongers and America last globalists and the deep state, the Pentagon, the State Department, and the national security industrial complex. One of the reasons I was the only president in generations who didn't start a war is that I was the only president who rejected the catastrophic advice of many of Washington's generals, bureaucrats, and the so-called diplomats who only know how to get us into conflict, but they don't know how to get us out. For decades, we've had the very same people, such as Victoria Nuland.
Sorry, I'll stop it right there. Big language, okay? Big language coming from the big man saying deep state globalism, okay? That is the Trump we're talking about, okay? That is the Trump. That is the Trump we need. That is the Trump we're talking about. He was the one who came around and showed the people in the world that he is not part of this deep state world, not a politician, an outsider. Relish every moment to be an outsider. Sorry, I can't help but do Trump. But that is what got everybody into the whole thing, okay? This kind of language, this kind of talk, this is what shook up the political world. Everybody, status quo, playing the game, getting paid, getting their paydays, but not really shaking things up too much. This is what I'm talking about, okay? No one talks like this. Not DeSantis. No one talks like this. And then he goes on to say something else pretty interesting.
Nuland.
Pretty interesting.
For decades, we've had the very same people, such as Victoria Nuland and many others just like her, obsessed with pushing Ukraine toward NATO, not to mention the State Department support for uprisings in Ukraine.
Whoa! Yeah, basically, he's calling out the State Department's involvement in the Maidan 2014 revolution in Ukraine. That kind of what many say is the start of Well, it started before that, but many say a huge changing turning point of Western influence in that region, which set up the events that we're seeing today. Okay. Incredible stuff. I thought that was sick. And look, Trump doesn't lie. I know people say Trump lies. Trump lies about this. He may be inaccurate about certain things, but he doesn't lie. Okay. And I got to say, I believe him when he's talking about the State Department's involvement in Ukraine in that era, in that time, 2014. I mean, it was Trump who said, remember the birthright thing? Remember Obama and the birthright citizenship thing? They said, oh, Obama wasn't born here. He's foreigner or whatever. And that means he can't be president. And they were saying, and then what was famously Obama showed like his birth certificate. People were like, you're racist for thinking he wasn't from here. And there was a lot of controversy with that. It was Trump, and he said this, a few years ago, that it was the Clintons who came up with that. It wasn't even him, because everybody blames him for that. They're like, oh, and he did push it and all that. He did mention it a lot. But it was the Clintons, and he was right about that. Now, some might disagree and say, well, it was certain operatives in the Clinton. It wasn't Hillary Clinton herself or the campaign, but Trump was right. And I got to say, Trump's not wrong about stuff. Trump doesn't lie. Let me move on to this next clip here. I wanted to do more on this on the Maidan uprising and all that, but I'll save that for some other time. Another reason why Trump's back. Check it out. He's asked about anti-Semitism and how he's going to deal with that. And so he gets asked by some woman in the audience. Trump gets asked by a woman in the audience who we'll learn in the clip. It runs some kind of America First, something called America First in that area. It's not totally clear. But she asks Trump, so she seems to be like some kind of conservative, pro-Trump person, asking Trump how he's going to deal with anti-Semitism.
Harari, the president of the America First Club here in Florida.
Right, that's right. Thank you, Rebecca.
Thank you. My question to you is, since you've left office, there has been an alarming rise of anti-Semitism all across America. When you come back to office, how will you address this?
Well, Thank you, ma'am. We'll get it stopped. As you know, they're after the radical right now, and it's very unfair. They don't do anything with Antifa. And if you look at Antifa and Antifa to the Jewish population, not good. BLM, not good. But they're after radical right people, and in many cases, these are people that love our country like nobody loves our country, and we'll handle that situation. You know, we did something that I think was greatly helpful to Israel, many things, but one of the things was the Abraham Accords.
Take that in. He's like, they're after the radical right people. Yeah, they are after them. The radical right, the dissident right, whatever you want to call them. They're calling them a bunch of radicals. And it's interesting language from Trump, okay? This is love, okay? Showing mad love to the people who everyone is disavowing. Everyone disavowing, Congress disavowing, anti-Semites, Kanye, Marjorie Taylor Greene disavowing, a bunch of stuff, okay? But Trump, who loves people, he loves America and Americans, understands, he says about the radical right people who in many cases love the country more than anyone.
We'll get it stopped. As you know, they're fair. They don't do anything with Antifa. And if you look at Antifa and Antifa to the Jewish population, not good. BLM, not good. But they're after radical right people. And in many cases, these are people that love our country like nobody loves our country.
Right on. And to the anti-Semitism comment, he says, well, we'll get it dealt with. We'll get it dealt with, right? He's like, doing this grandstanding, saying like, oh, it's horrible what's going on. He's like, we'll get it dealt with, but look what's going on in the country. I mean, that's the kind of, look, that's a pretty good language. That's a good sign. All right, y'all. What are y'all saying? What y'all saying? What the? Anyways, I'm just repeating what someone's saying in chat. What the? Sorry. Hold on. Pretty cool. Pretty cool from the president. Okay, check this out here. Got a bit of a thing. Got a bit of a little bit of a segment here I want to get into. How do I do this? Okay, so okay, check this out. Oh man. I'm going to have to save this. I'm going to have to save this for another time. I don't have that kind of time to get into this segment here. Don't have that kind of time. Last few minutes here. Last few minutes here of the show. What are you saying? Yes, Gunner. Speak my mind about this topic? What about? Okay, well. Oh, JS Urban Adventures. What's up, man? Thanks for joining the chat here. I did not play that game. I did end up downloading Hogwarts Legacy. Wanted to play at that Chill Saturday stream to join the legions of transphobic streamers. But we didn't get to download it in time, you guys might remember. Before I had to reset my computer and dealing with the issues I'm having now, I did get to download it and I went into character creation, tried to make the funniest looking character, but that's as far as I went. JS. We'll see. Maybe the next like chill gaming / thing. I'll leave the gaming and all that for like maybe a secondary channel or just Saturdays or something. Working hard on the Daily Show. How long will the Daily Show be, Teresa? Pretty much as long as this, 2 hours. Sometimes, you know how nickstream has gone. Nickstream has been kind of a different affair. Very relaxed at times, can be very long form kind of a thing, and then the gaming Saturday stuff even longer and more chill. But I think it'll be around 2 hours, but I'll keep that variety up where I'll do a show maybe most days from the studio like James and Joel, with my own little setup though. And some other days I'll have my personal setup and we'll do kind of nickstream again. But stay tuned because I got a fresh brand, fresh new name. Hours flying by already, Karen, I know. Bring us back to the old school nickstream, says Mr. Mad. Yeah, you make a good point, Mr. Mad. I'm not gonna try and be someone else. I'm just being me. So we'll keep nickstream. We'll do it the way I've been doing it. I might try some shows out of the studio over there. Like we're setting it up so that I could do it from the studio, like Joel and James. And I might do some there. But you guys know me. I like a little variety. We'll do it up nickstream style, flying the planes, and all the other stuff we do. Bond fam, so cool. Thanks, John Frederick. So keeping it unique, keeping it real on the Bond Network. Thank you, Jesse. Thanks, Goat Biscuit. We're going to just keep going, all right, y'all? I got some good stuff I've been working on. Got some good stuff I've been working on. Maybe I should work on my enunciation. But like I said, got some good stuff in the works. So stay tuned for that. All right, y'all. Look, that's been nickstream. That's been the show, y'all. People asking next episode of VR chat. You guys like that stuff? I should have spent more time on that last time. I think I left y'all wanting, at least those that like that kind of stuff. But I want to leave that for another day. We'll see how we get down. Practicing buena suerte. Thanks, Marty. We'll do some VR. All right, I'll let y'all know. Let you guys know. Probably when we do a more chill stream, like a Saturday or something like that. Other than that, yo, it's been nickstream. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll be back for more. Appreciate the support. Don't forget Church Sunday. Blah, blah, blah. Check out Joel Friday TV. And I appreciate all of you, always. It's been an absolute pleasure. Your support meant everything, and you're going to see your support soon. You're going to see your support what I'm trying to say is you're going to see the fruits of your support. It's all coming together, okay? Talk about this a little bit, because you've been very kind giving me some of that skrill and putting it to good use, okay? A pleasure. I appreciate you being here for nickstream. Love y'all. Bye. Catch you in the next one.